So we're on a road trip up in Vermont, doing a little more research on cottages, our cabins, and today we're going to stop in, it's actually South Londonberry, but the name of the place is the Jamaica Cottage Shop because it used to be in Jamaica, Vermont. And so we're going to go take a look at these buildings, which I believe are post and beam, and I think they're made out of hemlock. So this should be fun.
We're here in South Londonberry, Vermont. Thanks for watching. My name is Dominic Mangano. I'm here from Jamaica Cottage Shop with John Peters. Thanks for coming over today.
Glad to be here.
I'm going to show you the 20 by 30 here that we have on display here in the yard. So this building here is a post and beam. It's got a timber frame, nice big 8 by 8s. We'll take you inside and show you that. The building has quite a few different add-ons. There's some options here that we've put on for display. This overhang porch here, those dormers, and when we go in we'll show you a few more details. The business is 24 years old. We started in 1995. I started on the side of the road with a skill saw, literally sitting there with bringing home scrap from work saying, what should I build? I had a couple dogs, so I built a doghouse. I put it on the front lawn and it sold, so I built another one. Before you know it, I had 24 doghouses all over the lawn. 10 years ago, I bought this light industrial complex. It's got 75,000 square feet and 14 acres. We've grown the business now to about 1,200 units a year, and we have 50 people working here. The 8 by 8s that we use is hemlock. That's a native species that grows here in Vermont. And what we'll do is the mortise and tenon, so this has been notched in and then stuck in, drilled and pegged with the hardwood dowels. And then we have that on top for the beams as well as the posts, and then the angle braces. So when you go ahead, this is on the outside, but bringing it inside there, you have plenty of beef here to put a nice high insulation R value of a 6-inch wall, and then still leave the wood exposed. We've set this up here in the yard as a temporary display, and you can see we've always done as a gravel floor. So it's sitting down on 8 by 8 treated sill plates. Now, if you're going to do this on your home property, we always recommend a concrete foundation, whether that be piers, a slab, a crawl space, or a full foundation. So this building here can be set up in a lot of different configurations, whether it's a sloped hillside, you can walk in, add more space underneath. The standard one comes with 2 posts here. What we've done is put in a clear span. This is an option. This is a nice big beefy 8 by 12 by 20 foot clear span beam. So that's just an added option if you want to remove the post. Now it does compromise the weight limit that you can put up top, but it does go ahead and meets a lot of the strict codes that you find across the country. Now what we've also done is broken up the loft. So the standard package comes with that full loft here, but what we've done here is given you an idea of what a cathedral ceiling would look like. So if you wanted to put a fireplace here or a nice smokestack, you have lots of room. You can do a cathedral window here in the opening and let all the light shine in. So there's quite a bit of different options that you can choose to fit your needs.
That would be beautiful with a big window up here. Have a lot of natural light coming in.
Absolutely. So if that was south face or even towards the east, letting in the light in the morning, there's a lot of room there that you can do. And we've put in the railing. We've kept it all very rustic here. And what you see is that the bottom part is usually the bathroom and the kitchen underneath the loft, and then more of a great room here if there is going to be a loft space that's cut off. Now with the stairs going up, we give it quite a bit of room to go in upstairs. The height clearance here is 8 feet, so it's full. You've got the full headroom there to work with.
Is that 8 feet to the beam or 8 feet to the support joists?
Depending on the sill plates that you choose.
Okay.
It is a little bit of flexible. So like this one's a little bit lower underneath the clear span because that's a 12-inch beam rather than the 8-inch.
And these are hemlock beams.
That's right.
And the siding is pine.
Kiln-dried eastern white pine.
Shiplap?
It is a shiplap, yep. So the The siding there is exposed, you can see that, but if you were going to build this as a 4-season, you're going to use this as an insulated heated space, we recommend putting in that vapor barrier here. So if you see any of the buildings with the blue paper in between the walls, that's that vapor barrier that you see. So that's the first line of defense in protecting the building from moisture, insects, mice, rodents. This took me about 4 or 5 years to build. Everybody kept asking for one. I finally got it built this summer.
This model.
As a display unit, and that's why you see the gravel floor. So this building is designed to eventually, some point, it's going to have to come apart.
And what's your ceiling height here?
So we're almost 8 feet here. So what we've done here is keeping the loads in mind when we're working with the different snow loads around the country. Here in the Northeast, where the snow loads can get a little heavier, what we're doing is locking these in with these collar ties, and it doubles as that ceiling height. So there is different options that you can do. So for instance, these doghouse dormers, these are 6-foot dormers with the same 8-pitch roof. So they bump it out and give you a little bit more headroom. Now on the other side, on the back side, what we've shown the option for the shed dormer. Now the shed dormer does a single pitched roof, and it raises that and gives you quite a bit more headroom. And so that's been a real popular option if you're going to turn this space up here into a bedroom or actually some living usable space. So the rafters that we've chosen are hemlock here. They are rough sawn, so they have that nice thick fuzzy feel to them. And they're 16 inches on center, so it gives you a nice stout roof. Now we've chosen the hemlock because it's very traditional. When you look at barns here in Vermont that are centuries of old, you'll see the frame is hemlock and the siding is pine. Now that's very strategic. Now we don't have a lot of cedar here in the area, so when the farmers went and chose and they looked for the species to use for fence posts, oftentimes they went back and chose the hemlock because it was bug resistant and a little bit of rot decay. Now that is a great choice for the post and the beam where you're looking for that rugged, more of a solid lumber there. Now that's very readily here in Vermont, but in other parts of the country and the world, you'll find different species used for posts and beams. Out west, you might find Douglas fir. You will find some done in eastern white pine because it is an affordable material. Now the other ones that you'll find are some of the ones more valuable. When you see a barn taken down, you might find it in hardwood like walnut or maple or even oak. This is a very traditional joint here where we've got it half flapped, and what we've done is drilled in and pegged the tenon in this post. So this post has a tenon and it's slipped up into the hole there up and underneath here inside this joint here. Now this peg here is holding everything together. Now we do include in the kits a lot of 8-inch timber frame screws. Those screws are nice big, and that gives you a nice flexibility to lock in some of these joints even tighter. That's very popular when we do the floor system where we're using 4x6s for the joists. Those joists at 24 inches on center, nice big thick beefy 4x6 joists are meant to be exposed when the building is finished. So when you look up underneath that floor system, you'll see that all exposed at the finish. These 3 buildings here are very strategic. So what we've done is given you a very bare bones, very basic insulated boxes here. Those insulated boxes, as we're referring to them, may look bland at the first, but they really fit their budget. So they're very economical in nature, and they're all 4 seasons. So this first one here can be used as a spare bedroom. The next one here gives you a little bit more comfort feature and gives you a privacy space for a bathroom. Now the third one there gives you 4-season year-round living with a privacy space, bedroom, bathroom, shower, and a little kitchenette. So each one of these is designed to be able to meet a certain criteria depending on what that problem is. These really do supply the solutions. Now if you'd like to dress it up a little bit, we have plenty of options where we're adding a porch or a little overhang and putting on some nice decorative work on there. All of them fit a queen size bed, and you can go ahead and finish them out on the inside however you'd like. So it's 102 from drip to drip. Drip line where the water falls off to drip line over on here. Now this one here is 10 feet wide, so this is a wide load, would need transportation permits when it goes over the road. But it is set up so it can sit on a 3-foot high deck trailer and be transported over without being able to hit those utility lines. So these three buildings are all strategic. They each have a name. All the designs have names. We have the Bunkie, the Queen, and now the Emperor. The Emperor is the largest one here at 12 by 16. Gives you a space here in the front for living. So a couch, if you can envision. Gives you a live edge counter space with sink cabinets. This is very basic. If you'd like to expand out and put doors down here, that's all very possible. We have a 5-gallon electric hot water heater here. And then we have 2 pocket doors closing off some more privacy. The bedroom, which can fit a queen size bed and a little bit more. And then we have a pocket door for a bathroom. And on this side, we have a space for a shower, or if you'd like, a closet. So this one here is definitely set up so if you wanted to live in it. So we have a lot of folks looking to move out of the house, but not quite off the property. So this is a nice version for either the kids, or maybe if you're going to house an older relative, putting them in the backyard, still keeping their independency and privacy on their own.
And a guest house. It's great for just a guest house.
It's a lot of folks take these and rent them out. Very successful. You'll find them all over Vermont. My buildings, they're being rented out on Airbnb.
Now, you have the dry toilet, and you have the shower.
So you don't need a septic.
You don't need a septic, so the water can just run out of the shower?
That's correct. So if you'd like to just drain it into a trough of crushed gravel and into the garden flower beds, that's what it's meant to do. If you'd like to use the biodegradable soap, that would be even better. Now, if you're in a tight neighborhood, like a very urban, you want to be careful how much water you're going to try to discharge back into the environment. You want to make sure that's being done in a clean, safe way. As far as this building goes, no septic, which is a great option, and you can source your own water. Now, when you go forward and want to further develop the property, this building is road legal, so it can be picked up and moved. It can be taken off the property, sold off, and sent down the road if you'd like to recoup some of your investment. This is a very simple garage type building. It's 14 wide by 30 feet long. It's a huge building that I've actually built to bring over to my yard if it doesn't sell. It'll get a nice overhead door here that'll match the siding and the roofing. We've gone with a charcoal roof color, and the door that's coming will be the same color. Now this building here is road legal, so OTR, over the road legal, and so it's going to be transported in one piece. Come on in, let me show you how big it feels. Like a dance hall.
This is nice. I like this.
So this feels like a dance hall. It feels like a whole different space, right? I plan on keeping the center aisle open and parking all of my toys, 4x4 and ATVs and motorcycles and what have you, lawnmower, on down on each side, so I can get one or all of them out at any time without blocking them in.
Could we go up another 2 feet?
In a kit, yes, but not fully assembled. We're at our limit here. Now, I do have a nice building on the other side of the property that does just that, and that's a very popular option. That's the 14 by 1 bay garage, and that does have a nice tall wall heights and a steeper roof. This is an old sawmill. This was wood manufacturing before I bought it.
Really?
They started in the 1920s, got serious in the 50s. This was the sawmill here, and they cut about the same amount that we're using today, about 10 to 12,000 feet a day. And this here, this puddled pipe ran up into the sawdust bins. They keep about a week's worth of sawdust on hand, and they fed the boiler. The boiler produced the steam, ran out and heated and dried the lumber. And on a cold day, like it was below zero, the boiler would burn 2 cords an hour.
You build all the cottages with green hemlock. Why green? Why not kiln dry?
Well, that's a good question. It's very strategic in using it as green. Once it dries out, the characteristics of the lumber changes, so it can check and it can crack. It definitely takes a nail just fine when it's green, and it's also more affordable.
Good.
So John, you had asked about the hemlock and why do we use that green lumber. It is economical and we're able to store it outside. And on a rainy day like this, we're not fussing over it. But the kiln dried pine, you'll see that it is under roof, and it is important that we keep it under storage in the dry area. So that dry storage is at a premium here in the warehouses. But we are required, and it has to be kept under a dry roof, and that's why you see so much dry pine here. This is all that kiln dried. This is the 12-inch lumber that we use in our pre-cut kits. Now this section here is the cut room. So we just came from support where we pre-kitted, and now we're bringing it into the next phase of the operation of where we put together the PCKs. The pre-cut kits here then go to the CNC machine, and they do the heavy lifting of the cross-cutting and producing all the perfect parts. Now those parts are then situated onto the horses, and where they're double checked for the quality control, and then they're stacked onto the pallet in order. So as you pull off the top of the package, when you receive your kit, you're going to start building. The floor system will be on the top. This is the gang saw. It's like a table saw with a bunch of ganged up blades, hence the name gang saw. So it takes the board, feeds it in, grabs the board away from you, and it runs on that dust collection. Can't run it without the dust collection. But what we use it for is to cut our batten strips. You can see we have a bunch of pre-cut stock ready to go. So we're cutting our own batten strips here, but most of the material comes into the dimension that we need. We just use the battens as we need them because they are susceptible to moisture and to the sunlight. Now over on the wall here, what you'll see is our rafter patterns. We've put them all into steel. So all the different designs have different rafter patterns on them, and those rafter patterns here are all made out of steel, so it's easy for the guys to work with them without damaging the wood ones we're having way too many issues with. This is the old boiler that ran the entire sawmill and the warehouse operations. It produced enough steam to heat all the buildings at 70 degrees and also enough to dry the lumber. So this boiler here is large enough to put 35 men inside of. On a cold day, it would burn 2 cords an hour of sawdust. So this building was set up just to auger in the sawdust and run it through the boiler, which would then produce the steam. The steam lines run out all through the ground. So in the wintertime, there would be no snow here because it would all melt off. Well, that wraps it up here for today, guys. I appreciate you coming on the tour. You've seen it from the start to finish. Come and visit yourself if you'd like to do the tour on your own. It's JamaicaCottageShop.com. We're located in southern Vermont, South Londonberry, Vermont, 05155.
Okay, well, a pretty rough and rainy day up in Vermont. That was on Tuesday. And a big thank you to Dominic for taking the time to show me around. If you've been following along with the show for the past couple of years, you know that I have land in central Vermont, and I'd like to build something small, something that doesn't require a lot of maintenance. And one of the things about the idea of a cabin, a post and beam cabin, is I'm not a builder. I'm a finished carpenter and a cabinet maker, and these cabins seem pretty easy to do. And the 20 by 30 that I was looking at the end is just about the same size as the barn here, so that seems pretty doable. I would have to put in a septic, a well, and a foundation, so there's an expense there. But I do like the idea of getting that structure up quickly and then moving my tools in and then finishing off the inside with some shelter. So once I can get the tools in and not have to worry about them being rained on, I could build the kitchen cabinets, do all the trim work, things like that. So this is just kind of the beginning of this Vermont project, which I'm not sure if it will happen, but I'm hoping it will. If all goes well, maybe I'll have this thing up by the end of June and be able to kind of finish it out over the summer. So we'll see. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to know more about these cabins, prices, and different options and things like that, I'll have a link to Dominic's website in the description, along with a link to his Instagram. As always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.